Are we all set with Al?
So I'm ready to go.
Sure, it's the 16th, but okay.
Okay, we're ready.
Building in progress.
I know I didn't hear it, guys. Okay, if everybody can state your name for roll call. Laura Lynn Bockelman.
Aaron McConnell.
Robert Sossman.
John Evans.
Jessica Roper. And missing is Rebecca Kinney, Jordan Jones, and Teresa Wakefield. Right?
Yes, you do. Oh my God.
Great. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh
Oh my God.
Really didn't have anything to say, but we did change our meeting night just so we can try and have a presence here at your meetings.
Oh,
It'll work out good for the ropers. It won't need a babysitter one night. It'll work out good for Skatewell, so. And hopefully we'll be here most nights that you guys have meetings so that if there's anything that comes up that we can help with, you can let us know.
Yeah, very
That's
good.
the only reason I'm here.
Appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Probably won't always be me, but hopefully we'll have somebody here representing us.
okay. And conversely, when we need to, we can attend your meetings a little easier then too.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
nice.
It'll be handy.
Yeah, very handy. Partnerships.
Cool.
Anything else?
That was it. Thank you.
Comment or?
No, that was it. Thank you.
I got like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I wasn't actually counting.
You want the podium, we can pull it up.
Okay,
Excellent.
did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from January 10th? Was there anything?
Anything to change, add?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
My name's spelled wrong a few times, but it's fine.
Oh, mine is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm gonna push minutes back onto you at this point.
Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
What did I do?
I always get the E added to the end of Jesse and
Jesse, no,
there's
no
no
E.
E. It's really okay.
I should just put Jessica.
But then I would feel weird because nobody calls me Jessica, right?
Okay.
And this meeting, we have January 10th on the agenda, but over here on the minutes, we have January 8th. What was the correct date?
The 10th.
The 10th, okay. So besides that, did anybody have anything, John?
Well, the rest look good.
We want to make a motion to approve the minutes from January 10th.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes from January 10th, 2024. Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Great. Okay, moving on. Fishing is fun grant.
Yes.
That's exciting.
You have the whole packet up or just the
Yeah.
agenda? Okay. So. Let's see, two weeks ago now, with great assistance from town staff, most notably, Kelly Hodling. We put together the grant to push forward for the potential for the docks, the Fishing is Fun grant through the Department of Wildlife and the resource contact that we have there. As we all know, the docks are part of the capital approved budget. So regardless of this grant, we will have the funding to do one dock. With this grant, if you have all had the time or looked through it, basically what I proposed is 2 different options, because I know that Fishing is Fun grant is it's federal backed and the money goes to multiple different projects throughout the state of Colorado. So I didn't want to kind of pigeonhole us into one dock or 2 docks. I wanted to give them the option, and I reached out to the grant manager and just kind of told him what I was thinking, like, hey, we would love any sort of funding that we can get for this project. He knows that it's on our capital projects, but at what cost to us do we continue to, use capital money that's coming from our general fund rather than hopefully being able to find grants and get them. So if we could somehow get both docks filled this year, I gave that proposal as well as just the one dock. So I wrote it up as most of the grant funding would come directly to just the purchasing of the docks. Town would then provide the resources as far as concrete, putting the concrete in for the ramps going up to the docks, as well as putting the docks together and then maintaining the docks. So there's a lot of in-kind labor put into there from the town side, and it's all broken down into what the percentage is that we need to match as far as funding, and then our match partial funding, capital dollars, as well as partial for in-kind labor. And it's all broken out as what the cost is for public works, $29 an hour. Our staff putting it together, 29, broken down into two sections, basically, if we're gonna do two docks versus one dock. So he said it looked good when I sent it in, and previously to even putting an application in, he liked the story and the understanding of where it's going, and kind of improving our amenities and our options. I hope that the fact they donate fish every single year, they're already working with us, so hopefully, I mean, fingers crossed, we don't know too much more, but one dock would be amazing. It would drastically reduce the amount of money we're taking from that capital budget, as we've talked about, to show the board that we're doing the best, not just with the money that they're granting, but also trying to reduce that amount of money off the budget lines. But I mean, in here, basically from that budget, we could get two docks with the $50,000 in that capital. We would get two if they grant two with the funding for, to be honest, I can't remember exactly the number now, but what, 28,000 for the two docks, rather than if we have to do it ourselves and we get no grant funding, it'll be really close to that $50,000 for the one. So maybe a two for half, if that even makes sense, right?
That's great.
So that's hopefully.
When are they
like I
supposed to
said,
make their
cross our
decision?
fingers. It'll take a little bit. I can send out let me put this in the notes. There's like the full, the grant page and everything like that with the timeline. But I think if I remember right, they should have a lot of the awards going out middle of next month. Now, that doesn't mean funding, but that'll just be for what they do. It's my understanding, as far as timeline goes, it might be a little bit difficult to get these in prior to our fishing derby, and the only reason is because we do have the capital funds, right? So if we as PROST wanted to go ahead and purchase it, because we're going to, there's a little conflict between doing the work and then if we are awarded the grant funding, then showing that we did that work afterwards. The only thing that we potentially could do is purchase one dock. And if we had it here and we get the grant funding, then because we are going to purchase a dock either way, then moving forward, but it just makes it a lot messier. So it's a lot easier if we know that we're going to be awarded the grant and then try to rush it. So the updated estimate from Easy Dock didn't really change much from last year. I did have him add in their time for helping us build them and then making sure that they're up to manufacturer specs. So that's really the only thing that changed in that, and it didn't put us over that threshold of what we would be able to do within the capital budget anyways. So might not work. Either way, we'll get them in this year. Love to have one or both of them in before that fishing derby, because that is like the showpiece of that, and then bringing people back to see them do a ribbon cutting or something fun. But if it doesn't work out as far as timeline goes, getting it built, shipped, and then put together on site with all the concrete and all that kind of stuff, but we can always hope.
In my opinion, I mean, even if we can't make it happen, like, it'd be really cool if we could have some boards up at the fishing derby and just show that this is coming and get
Yeah.
excited and guess what? We got cool stuff coming.
Absolutely.
I mean, in the least, that would
Yep.
be the goal.
It would be amazing to have anything, but I would really love to have a dock for that event.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but we will get at least one dock with capital money. Best case, we'll get 2 docks with grant funding and be able to really provide.
And then can we do like some sort of like party or something?
Yeah,
Can we do like a grand opening or something?
Like a ribbon cutting.
Well, yeah, every time we've done a park, we've done like some type of ribbon cutting, right? Like having trustees there and having excitement, and this is really cool. And I'd really like to invite the gentleman that was part of this board that started this process. I think he should be there. So,
great.
great.
And that's not to say we couldn't, we partner with Kiwanis for that fishing event. And that's gonna go on no matter what. And it was really successful last year with our park and play at Kids to Park Day. It was really fun and there were a ton of people there.
Yeah.
What's not to say that if we get these docks in June, July, we don't do just another fishing event and do a party and say, hey, come in again and do something awesome, like another fishing derby, or even if it's not a derby, just like,
Catch all the leftover fish.
Well, yeah, just come hang out, come
Yeah.
fish,
Yeah.
come check out this new thing. This is, something that town has done. It's pretty cool.
Right.
We waited a long time for this, so
yeah, it's good.
Very cool.
good job.
Yeah.
Thank you. This
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I did a lot of the work on the back end as far as getting all the information, and Kelly put the packet together and we worked together, and she kind of produced this awesome packet to send off in like a day. I was like, man, can't even get the freaking owl to work today. So thank you for everything you do. But that is a passion of hers. So for this board, when we go through projects, when we go through partnerships, whatever that looks like, when we need to write grants, she's so happy to do it and very experienced at it as far as, previous, but also with the town and how to write for our town as well. So
That's great. Tell her thank you. That's
I
pretty
will.
cool.
Absolutely. And, something she's passionate about too. Not just grants in general, but just helping us be able to provide more. Because she knows how much you guys and we all put in the effort. We want to see things expand.
Yeah.
And this, I won't talk too much more about this, but this is one of those awesome things that I think when we try to decide, the grand plan, when we go through the master plan and everything, we want to see this whole department and everything we do expand to something where we can fully provide, but we do have limitations now. Something like this is really just like, it expands with what we can already work with, and the more we can do it on less funding, great. But if we have visions, the board of trustees was on board with just allowing this to happen regardless. So these kind of things are big wins no matter what happens. So it's great that we can work within our constraints, right, with what we already have, even though I know everybody here has that awesome long-term vision and we want to see new parks, new amenities, trails connected, all that stuff. But this kind of stuff really is like
It's huge.
big time for
Yeah.
what we can.
This is a huge one. Yeah, it turns those just little ponds that dive off into something grand,
Right.
and really get out there and really enjoy it. Yeah, it's gonna be very cool.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, see where it goes, and the second I get the update, push it out, whether it's 1, 2, none, whatever it is, but
Awesome.
WCP Memorial.
yep. So I think we're all in understanding that moving forward with this project, we really need someone to give us the designs, engineering, whatever that looks like, as far as if it's a landscape designer, to generate the cost for what we think we're gonna need to get out and get from donations, fundraising, and kind of help how we're gonna build it grassroots. And then, if we have to divert to grant money, we will. I know we want to do it in-house, but we'll see once we get projections. So Trustee Daly and I actually took a call with a company that's done a couple different memorials for different municipalities. And some good things and then some things that we're trying to work through. So my update will be that this company has done some in the past. They've been really involved with a lot of the community outreach and finding contractors to do, all the coding and everything like that. I don't think that's necessarily what we're looking for. So my question to everybody here is like, we kind of have the vision, we have the understanding of what we want it to look like. That doesn't mean we don't need community support. Obviously, we want people's input 100%. But we're also looking to do it as a grassroots. So part of keeping the cost lower so that we can go out and fund it ourselves is not necessarily having a company go from front end to back end. It's really just getting that plan, getting the engineering, looking at it and saying, okay, in the last, 2 weeks or month or whatever, we really would like to push forward with the memorial walls, or we're going to push that off till later. So we don't need to add that into our first, that's where we come in and say, no, this design doesn't look like, can we put the beds over here? Or expand the concrete because we want a larger area, those kind of things I think we can do, not somebody else coming in and sitting down with community and having multiple different people come in and spend their time. Like that's the money that I think we're trying to eliminate from this, right?
We wanna
That's the
save.
grassroots,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're trying to do. So as far as the electrical contractor, same guy that's probably that would most likely do it, same guy that's done all the built WCP, the one that knows the entire area there. I don't think it's not gonna be big enough to go out. We'll do all of the anything we need to do in-house as far as getting it up to code. I've already talked to Cody about, he doesn't see there need anything as long as we build them according to manufactured scope, whether that's the poles or the benches. It's like, no, we're not really needing any of that kind of stuff. So it doesn't need to be stamped. So really what we're looking to do is just keep it all in-house. Trying to push this company, if they want to do some pro bono, or if they want to do just like a sponsorship for their work in kind, that's kind of on them after they figure out what it is. But I'm trying to dial them into the understanding that this is our process with our community, right? And we want to do the back end work. Just we want the product and what it's going to look like, and then we can add prices to it and say, now where do we go to get the funding? But it was a successful meeting because they're jazzed up about helping us. They really are.
Okay.
It's just kind of reeling them back in and letting them know that it isn't, we're not gonna have sculptures and it's not gonna be like, this huge 2-year community outreach. It's not really what it is. It's a nice area for gathering and to memorialize all the people in our community and surrounding communities that have given themselves up for our country. So.
And with the understanding that we'd like to do that this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because their idea was like, well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this year. And that's their vision of how this whole scope goes. And like, we've already put a lot of back end time into it. If we need to do community outreach, well, when we do it more, we have partnerships. We know the people that are really going to be invested with us. So we'll do the face-to-face stuff. That's what we want this project to be is groups coming to us going to groups and figuring this out as a community, right? Not contracting someone. Money better spent somewhere else, in my opinion. But that's my update as far as where this goes next.
So do you want to continue working with this company, or do you want us to try to find somebody?
Love to have other options.
We're just trying to dimension this thing out, right?
Yeah, well, we still need to look for other options. I
Okay.
think we need at least 3 would be the best. If someone's gonna come and do it fully pro bono, I don't think we would necessarily need to go out to bid or anything like that because they're doing engineering work pro bono. Definitely have to check on that, I think, but I think multiple options would be fantastic because when you work with any company that's gonna bring something like this to our community, we could pass it off and say, go ahead and do it. But do we feel comfortable working with them, right? And I think your guys' input on that would be great. This was just a very beginning initial meeting with someone who is willing to help because we haven't really found anybody else that's willing to do that kind of work for
I
us.
haven't been able to really find anybody, but I just can't, could we reach out to CSU or whoever did the Centennial Park designs?
Oh, they weren't an engineer. That was like students that were doing conceptual. We have the concept. We were just gonna have it dimensioned out and have it stamped.
Okay, so we are looking for a stamp.
Didn't you just say we're not looking for a stamp?
Well, the engineering plans should be, but like when we're putting up the flagpoles and stuff like that, we don't need someone to come in. As long as we build them to spec, getting the stamps on every single one of them and getting a permit to
The
pull
inspection.
for every single thing, you know?
I still don't understand why we need a stamp done. Like, it doesn't compute with me, like, there's zero life safety stuff going on here,
Right.
so why couldn't we go to CSU and say the same thing?
Okay.
I mean, give them it'd be a great project for a CSU student.
Just writing notes, no.
Yeah, I mean,
continue.
I think it'd be a great project for a CSU student to, come up with it and then at least give us a plan where we could take it out. And get numbers to it. I mean, we've got dimensions of concrete, we've got what the benches are and.
Right,
I mean, the whole stamp. Throws a huge cost thing into the,
The
McMahon-
only thing I could see them pushing back on is it is in a like flood, like that's our flood and overflow plain. So that would be my only thought.
But
about
it's
it.
not gonna be a
I mean,
structure though, right? It's gonna be
Right.
benches, it's gonna be flagpoles, it's gonna be
yeah,
nothing with a roof over your head.
and even that, I think we need to full on figure out, but I have a good idea, and Bob and I had discussed this, Bob Gowing, Director of Public Works, just about potentially being in the floodplain, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be. He's got an engineer that is looking into it to make sure that we're gonna be compliant with that. But as far as getting any sort of floodplain permit, that's still gonna be all in-house.
Sure.
Like we're gonna be, our engineering department will be
Yeah.
passing that for the Parks and Rec department, for the Public Works to be able to move the earth onto that site,
Sure.
right? So all of that is gonna be, any permits we need to pull, we'll go through obviously the 100% proper channels and we'll pay
Yeah.
for that, but because we are a government entity, we can also do that in-house with a
Yeah.
cheaper cost, right? So.
So I do some work with a fraternity on campus now. I will take on going to a department to see if there's any interest, if that's the way we wanna,
Let's swing at it.
is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, do you have the concept? The
I,
drawings?
no, I don't,
So we can get that emailed.
I don't think I do.
I'm
I've only
They
been-
should be in any one of the packets,
Hang
but I
on.
will just give them to you directly. I'll
okay.
share them directly to you, the concepts. Both the original that our engineering put out and then the ones that our volunteer put out as well, as far as conceptual
Yeah.
images. Again, I would love, it's all grassroots, so whatever we think is the best, or in trying to partner with someone who's going to provide for the community is.
Yeah.
One contractor isn't necessarily, a straightforward, let's go with them just because we met with them.
Yeah, I have one more person I can call too. We can just see what we can find.
Yeah. On our text chain, can everybody sign their name one time, just with me, so I know who I'm talking to?
Yeah.
I've got Teresa, I think that's, cause she plays pickleball.
So I think if that's
Are you doing that, John?
where we're at right now, I'm looking for it.
Okay.
I would, as far as board activity, in my opinion, I think that's pretty high up on the list is to. We need to nail someone down to get this moving forward, because that is just, it's really the thing that's holding us up the most from doing any progression. Because really, once we have someone to do that, we can get the concept drawing out there, kind of like what you're saying with the docs. If we
Yeah.
don't get those out in time, we'll get a board out there coming soon. Here's a concept of it. Getting people excited, and then that will turn into a website where we're accepting donations or opportunities for whatever we decide.
Yeah.
Fundraising, donations, time spent out there. If you wanna, maintain the garden once it's done, all that kind of stuff that we're looking for in the long run. Really just kind of hit that wall until we have this person or this company or student, whoever it is.
So the planning commission could tell us what, if we in fact need a stamp, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that would kind of fall under their purview.
So last time I talked with Cody, Cody Bird, Director.
Yeah, yeah.
Planning, it didn't seem like any of the fixtures we won't need.
Okay,
Let me talk about the whole thing once I gather in from the engineering, whether or not we have to do a floodplain permit, because that might change things.
yes,
And
yeah,
once that's set in stone, I'll talk with Bob and Nathan, who's the one he's the engineer that did the original CAD drawing, very, very basic, but
Yeah.
just to kind of give the area.
Yeah.
And understanding. I'll work with them and Cody to make sure that all of the things that we need on the front end from the town perspective, that we can match.
Okay.
Without having to, stretch out further and get stamp drawings if we don't have to. Perfect. So, sure, I get all my,
nobody ever else to the stamp drawings anyway. Engineers.
It's lawyers and liability, so.
Right.
If the flagpole falls over, who stamped the engineered drawings? Was it deep?
Was it deep
there not
enough? Was it
concrete in
putting,
there?
yeah,
That's the issue.
and if we get to a place where I don't think we're gonna do like 40-foot flagpoles, right? We're not
Right.
looking to do something absolutely insane, so.
well, and what
hopefully-
Cody said to the manufacturer specs. I
The
mean,
wind
if
bearing.
It's, if it's deep enough at the right amount of concrete, if you got this right size footing in it, you shouldn't. But then, I mean, if we have inspections, we have inspections, and so that plays into it too, but I just don't see where an engineer.
And we'll work, with Cody and his team, make sure if we have to do safe build, and we do, but. And if we decide, or if we find out that we need to, it's just, something that we add to the budget and move forward with.
Okay,
Any-
great.
Any other thoughts on WCP? Oh, sorry.
No, I think
Okay.
we should keep moving.
Okay.
Wish list.
So this is kind of, it's got a lot of stuff on here. We talked about, prioritizing outside of the few that we're working on now. Currently with the, bike fix stations, the WCP, the docks. Prioritizing stuff that we want to see accomplished from now until either the end of the year, beginning of next year. As we move through potential, working with any contractors or procuring the amenities to get them in. So this is kind of my hope that you guys talk through ideas, what you really want to see, and give me some direction on where to go.
Well, where are we at with the master plan update?
So that is on the strategic plan, and that is something that wholeheartedly I would love to have in place to start next year.
Okay.
Because it is on the board of trustees, or the town's strategic plan, I should say. Well, sure, you can share that one with everybody too. It's kind of just a better formatted one. Something that, well, for me, the master plan has been trying to reach out to local partners that have gone through it, seeing who they've used. Timnath and Fort Collins did an update a little while ago. And then Windsor as well. Getting information from their directors is what I'm working on as far as like a ground base. And once I have all that, I would love to be able to present it here and just see where we move forward to getting it, probably getting it actualized as as far as what budget we're gonna need to get it done, and then pushing it onto the 2025 budget and starting the process of bringing people in to get that done. It's a large undertaking. Thoughts about? Just thoughts on the master plan?
Just making sure we're getting some studies in there about where we're at with our walkability, where we're at with our playability. In the past, we had some reporting and things that came back, we were trying to make sure that we had parks that kids could walk to. Hence our walkability within, I think it was like what was it, John, half mile,
Yeah, it was pretty short.
a half mile of their house. So kind of laying out the town laying out the town with all the parks on it, and then making sure that kids had access to be able to walk to a park and make that easier for them. So that would be my only concern, is that last study was done in 2015. So we will be due probably for some type of update.
Yeah, and I think all of that will wrap in to our master plan.
Okay.
Hopefully each one of those entities, whether it's the GRASP study, or potentially like a rec feasibility study on the side of it, or that master plan might then lead into a feasibility study, whether it's good now. I think all that will come once we decide, what we're gonna have the budget for.
Okay.
And then move it out. So it's definitely gonna involve Cody, definitely gonna involve, I don't know so much about Public Works, but really just about planning and what they have on their plate, because obviously if we're gonna do a park and rec master plan, tying in all the communities that are gonna be projected for, it's
Yeah.
massive, and then just an amenity study
Yes.
based on location and not only what they can walk to, but what they have access to in general, because we definitely know we lack on certain things. So that's where hopefully with this list, we can start improving that kind of stuff so that when the master plan comes out, it's good. We're have more of a ground level of equality. I know there's going to be some disparity across our community, especially unfortunately east to west side, just because the space over there isn't as available right now. But we can start improving on those amenities now so that when we get the master plan, we can at least feel a little more secure in what we're trying to do.
Right.
And as far as like large scale projects, I have a tough time like really trying, unless we're doing things like the docks or WCP, which we've had on the plan for a while. We know we're trying to move forward with, but just really trying to put too much money into anything on a larger scale until we have that master plan, right? Because then we're just kind of, we're kind of shooting in the dark. Thank you. That's a good term. I'd rather do things like we know Viewpoint needs to be updated. The playground there is
Yeah.
going to have to be done. So if we're going to do a large scale thing, we know, that's what I'd like to do. Things that have been in the plan that our master plan isn't going to affect, right? If we try to start strategizing for trails without a master plan, it's like, well, if we go this way, we don't have a master plan, and now all of a sudden, the town's taking a turn, and we're gonna have to put a trail here and here, where all that goes. But until we have that, I would love to focus on getting the things that we want to make it equitable now. But yes, 2025 is where I'm gonna swing in the budget for the master plan.
And so previously we had the master plan, the parks master plan, and we ended up kind of doing like a trail study kind of behind it, right? And we were working with different entities to try to bring in, we were talking about railroads and crossings and all those types of things. So are we able to kind of combine that all into one? We're gonna have a company that can handle the trails portion as well.
I would hope that there is someone out there that can. I guess that's what the back end study is going to do, or the back end research is going to do, is to pick a company that's going to fit our community and everything that we need to do. We do have safe routes to school. They just got a grant called Safe Routes to Parks, but it's just a planning grant. And it's in the very, very minute phases of starting it. Cody's on that board. So Safe Routes to Parks, or Safe Routes to School. So it's, Lisa and her 401c3, Lisa Chalet. And then from the town, Cody, Bob and I are all on that, and we're just starting, kind of got a little background, but we're just starting meetings on that. I think next Monday is like a kickoff just for us to figure out exactly what it means. Cause it's only a planning grant. So, I believe a lot of it will be a feasibility study. So hopefully we'll be able to use that planning money and the feasibility study they do for our purposes for our master plan. So some of that background work will be done by that as well. But we can obviously do our own with our master plan studying, but incorporate that into it because that's grant money from a different entity that could impact what we try to do in the future. So.
Sweet.
Does that master plan include, we talked a few meetings ago about the canopy study, like coverage with like plants and trees, and would that?
Oh, tree
include that?
canopies.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime that we do a study, it's
yeah,
bottom
Okay,
up, you
good.
know. The good thing about starting our amenity tracking, our infrastructure tracking now is that hopefully we'll have some of that in place to be able to have more of a refined understanding of what all we actually maintain and how much that infrastructure actually is costing. Because with any master plan, you know, you can put stuff in, but we all know that linear assets as well as stationary assets, they break down. So knowing how much we're gonna have to put into the budget to take care of all these new things is gonna be important.
Cool.
There's a lot to it all, which is why a master plan doesn't necessarily, you know, it's fantastic. It's just it's a large undertaking. So when it goes through this is gonna be like a huge piece of what this board does when we actually get the funding to do it. Is researching the companies, figuring out what exactly we need to be involved in the study so that it is equitable for everybody.
2025.
So it'd be nice to get the funding for next year.
Prepping myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that doesn't mean it'll be done in a year, but if we can at least propose the funding for the master plan in next year's budget is my goal.
Wish list, I guess
Yeah.
I would like to pick out a few easy wins and see if you guys could allocate some monies towards it, what you think could kind of give us a ballpark for, my main examples, like I would like money for a skate park, do some needed repairs to the ramp and get some more concrete out there. And I would like to do exercise stations along the bike trails. And I would like to go to the gyms in town and try to get them to partner and do what if we had a starting amount of what we would like to do. And then we can try to get, you know, to either reverse it, like, you know, the town's willing to match. You know, what can you donate? You know, then the town will match if we already have like, say $2,000 and I know at least I can, you know, someone's like, well, give me $2,000. You'd be like, Billy, can we have 4,000 because they've already matched 2,000? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So get us a starting point, like a place to start with and go from. And then, and I like the dog park on the east side. Those are my top three. I think winnable, easier things, accomplishable.
Yeah.
You guys are already doing the bike racks. Those are in the works.
I think last time we talked, we thought about just doing a few, seeing how they work out,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
annually increasing those as we
Yeah.
build out trails and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or putting them in
I
the
think it's a
spaces
good
where
idea.
we see people would like them.
That's a great idea.
Is there an update for the backstop area over at Wellville?
So that is interesting because you brought up the dog park. And that is one space where we could very easily put the dog park. It's not a programmable area for the baseball field. It gets heavily run every year with weeds because it's just in a natural area. I honestly don't see the huge value to recreation down there. I mean, I don't see kids or people playing there very often. I think we would probably need to maybe ask the community over there, but that is a large area where I've got the okay to put up fencing down there as long as it's permeable for water to be able to do a dog park. We could do it either there or proposed previously the north side of where the runoff ditch kind of runs through there. But the south side doesn't currently have disc golf that goes over it. So the north side, we would have to work with the disc golf club to move their hole. And I know we're talking about doing that potentially as we move forward, but it wouldn't be an immediate thing. Whereas if we put the dog park in there, they would directly be throwing over the dog park until we get that moved. The south side has one that runs right next to the county road, but there's nothing that actually goes into that area where the backstop is. So that would be my proposed area. It's just kind of removing that backstop because nobody really uses it. That's my opinion, but I know
I have seen teams practice there before,
Yeah.
so I mean, reaching out and finding out, you know, how valuable that is to maybe a certain group.
Yep.
Or groups, but there used to be a team there every Tuesday night.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Softball, but they would be there every Tuesday for the season,
Okay.
so. But I also, yeah, that does bring up other things with the dog park and the frisbee golf, cause. I mean, I know the one runs across 60 there, but that doesn't mean everybody's throwing right down 60.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little stray one that goes into the dog park and dogs are gonna have a blast with it, but, you know.
They will.
And I mean, that's kind of the risk you run playing the game right there, so if you don't want your disc going in there, can't throw it straight, then maybe skip the hole. But that was kind of one of my other things is off the list was the need for pads and T-locks. I know we had talked to the guys at one point and we did some kind of work for that. Have we completely finished the pads or there's still a need for them?
Well, I would not want to. We have to look at it and see if we're gonna adjust the disc golf course like they would like us to. You know, if that's something that is on this list that we want to move forward with either this year or the idea of pushing forward a change in course. That's one of those things, right? I don't really want to put a bunch of money into that if we know we're gonna change it.
Okay.
Because I know if we do change it, they have those new tee boxes that have like specifically built with the artificial turf on top and the crusher fines underneath and everything like that. And that's kind of what was proposed to us. So I would think if we did that, we would go a whole new route with all of the tee boxes.
Right.
and
Can you give me
locations.
the contact with Discmania?
Yeah,
I could even do that, just go and talk to them and walk the course, like I mentioned before.
yeah,
You know, see what the ideas that they throw out are and what we could come up with together. That's acceptable for them as a community and then also as a financial. Cause I mean, if we're moving everything around, it's not gonna be free, you know, you're gonna re-alter. You know, the way the tees are lined up
Yeah.
and drill new holes for all your goals and everything, so.
yeah. And they talked about all new baskets and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's something that if we're gonna work with them, they're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You know, definitely put, and they said they would put the time and the money in, but they have the contacts to get that stuff
Yep.
and do the donation if they're gonna make it their home course again, like they said they would like to, rather than having Budweiser their home course. So, yeah,
Yeah, if you give me that contact
Okay,
information,
cool.
I'll go meet with them.
I'll put that on here as like something that we'll seek out this year, maybe for future.
It seems like an attainable goal and
Yeah.
they're an active community and they seem to be more active, so it's kind of cool.
Budweiser's getting a brand new renovation right now. Just saying, just to toss that out.
Always doing that.
Jeez.
There's always been. So right now I have, so Robert really likes the idea of continue with the skate park, exercise stations on the trails, which is something to invest into, as well as the dog park on the east side.
Do we wanna get really into the exercise stations without the trail being finished?
And that's where one of those things, you know, if we have a master plan, we could start putting them in locations once we know where the trail system is gonna be, but
Right.
putting them in now might be.
Cause I think that goes for a few things on this list. Cause we've got disc golf and WCP. we can't, I wouldn't wanna touch that until the new neighborhood goes in and we actually have the extra land for it. Oh, what are the
Well,
ones?
exercise stations, I was thinking just those pit stop,
Mhm.
dumb, chin up bars and, those leg lifters and, I don't know, kind of what like City Park has in Fort Collins. They
Mhm.
just got like, where I think you could just plant them anywhere. And, kind of between the two gyms, right? We got basically two anytime and then up here, right here.
Fitness one or
Fitness
fitness one?
one, so like in between the two, that's kind of where I would kind of think, if they were gonna sponsor, I would assume they would want it somewhere in their, travels.
And we always put a sign up for sponsorship. Thanks for donating.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the gym membership that way.
I mean, I guess across that distance, you could get quite a few in with the thought that when the section between Jefferson and Washington gets done, that we could just add more to it. Because that section by any time would be basically Wellville all the way over towards Ridley's by Front Range Steel.
Yeah.
The only other one,
Harvest.
yeah, the only other one would be the other section's pretty short, cause it's just basically WCP,
And the school, or,
kind of.
oh, yeah.
I mean, there is that portion that goes behind the school there, but I don't know if is that really considered our trail?
Behind,
Now it's Istone South.
not Istone South, no, well, I mean, so if you're coming from WCP, you have the crossing by the railroad, and then you have that split rail that runs along Washington on the south side, right? And then it kind of just goes to Library Park, and then it's just.
That's what I mean, yeah.
It's just, I mean,
That's not our, we don't make.
no,
that.
that's not our trail, although it is. I mean, it does come right off the WCP trail, so if kids are trying to get to school or people are trying to travel in between places.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe like 2, 3, just a something, just kind of like give the trail.
Some for the disc golfers to throw around.
I mean, you got a couple benches, but there's nothing else
Yeah,
happening on them,
That-
so that's all.
And I know, you say like push up, chin ups, all those ones, they make some more modern ones that are pretty cool. We
Yeah.
can look into like, cause they make even small, still like the 8x8s or however big they are, they're more like CrossFit style rather than just like a chin up bar.
Yeah, oh yeah, I measured all kind of really cool stuff. Yeah, I think
So-
those would be super easy, like big, noticeable things,
Fully accessible,
Mhm.
accessible.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Multi-generational,
multi-generational,
Yeah, yeah.
part of the vision.
part of
Yeah.
the vision.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, those
Yeah,
signs
so
that we
that's,
have out there, I mean, those things are awesome. And if they stick out like sore thumbs, man, they're just like boom. boom,
They're
boom,
sweet,
boom.
huh?
They're really nice. They are nice. So yeah, I mean,
Shiny sore thumb.
What's that?
Shiny sore thumb. New, happy.
Yes, it's a
Um,
nice polish. It's
okay.
a nice-
Anything else on the
I have
list?
one.
Yep.
So a big one for us and for our little community is getting shade structures at Wellington Community Park by the splash pad. Like more on the side next to the field. In between,
On the hill, on the
Yeah.
berm that's there,
yeah,
south of the splash pad.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of families.
Yeah.
That seems to be a good congregation.
Like where those trees are
Area.
not
There's-
very big.
yeah, they're kind of sparse. and
Or they
People
were
sit
supposed to
under them
grow.
and you're like.
They're like 1 or 2 person
Yeah.
shade trees, yeah.
So we're doing football practices there, and so we have families that go out and sit, and so you have some that are playing at the playground, and then others that are playing in the field, and it's just,
That's
the
so
sun
hard.
is, yeah.
The best shade there would be trees.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're
Yeah.
just not gonna get any trees growed there in the next 10 years.
right.
It's really hard to grow those trees too, especially with
Chemicals in your blood.
chemicals.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
It's surrounded
I didn't
by
even think about
chlorine.
that.
it
Yeah.
just blows off and
Yeah.
it also
They
dissipates in
soak
the
up the
air.
chlorine, yeah.
Makes sense.
Because there's now
I
the
should
shade
have.
structures over the picnic table.
Yeah.
Blue
Yeah,
someday.
but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough.
Could we get an estimate just on what that would be for
Yeah.
a shade structure, rectangular? I mean, if we just had a number, then we could make a
Let's
decision.
see, yeah.
Yeah,
that wouldn't
I mean,
influence the turf.
that would be the biggest thing, is just taking away
Right.
turf space and also what you do underneath it, cause it would either need to come with concrete,
An ADA.
an ADA ramp access to get underneath it. We couldn't put it on the berm. So putting it down into the turf space would definitely take away from usable space, especially for events like the 4th of July. We'd use it for stuff like that. I'm just trying to think. Really, if anything but trees, like that's the bummer about having.
You do have a
buildings
small
with
flat
trees.
space down by the sidewalk. At Buffalo Creek Parkway, but I don't know how large that is. It's right before the berm there. And I don't know if you want it right on the
Talking
sidewalk.
Same. Yeah, on the corner there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
there is potential for that. There is this, I think there's a spill out there,
Is it weird to put it over the sidewalk intersection?
storm drain.
It wouldn't necessarily have to
Yeah.
be this, I'll show you.
I could see something in the corner. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
I mean, it's something to investigate. If that's what,
Yeah,
if that's what we see, that's what the bonus of being out in the community does.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
Well, that was kind of one of the ideas of putting the tot lot over there, is because you had kids that were playing at the playground and kids that were playing at the baseball diamond.
yes.
So we kind of found that nice little sweet spot to accommodate both.
Yeah.
So I could see that being something huge for the community that would fit that same bill.
Mhm.
Being able to have, you know, kids of different age doing different things where you can still keep your eye on them.
Yes.
Cause any further than that, you're not seeing the fields anymore.
Good. Great,
We can
Thank you.
definitely investigate.
awesome.
Rando question, the BMX track, that's more of a maintenance thing, right? Like
So.
getting it updated each year, freshened up, especially before
How
4th of
big it
July.
is though.
The track and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, Public Works is the one that goes down there and does the maintenance on that.
Right, more of a maintenance.
Outside of the parks realm, but not anything that we can't ask for, as far as like, hey,
Talk to them about, yeah.
prior to 4th of July, can you give it a quick?
Be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
The egg hunt too, don't they use that for the egg hunt?
Not the
No, not
BMX
anymore.
track.
They
no.
did 1 year, but they don't
Okay.
anymore. Yeah.
Too many snakes.
What?
It's too many snakes.
Too many snakes.
There are
of
snakes down there.
snakes.
I took my kids down there to ride bikes. There are a lot of snakes down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
It was also, yeah, it was also just not a great place to have children sprinting up and down hills and rocks. And yeah.
But
Did
there
it
is a
once and
community
never
that
did it
uses
again.
it and I just
There
wanna make
is.
sure
Mhm.
we're,
Mhm.
yeah.
and if it's not something that's a huge cost, it'd be cool to maintain that for them.
Yeah, they did. They do, it's usually spring. To go out there.
Last year, I know they did it with that person who came to talk with us.
Mhm.
But I don't know what their normal schedule for maintenance on there.
I can, let me put this on my to-do and just see if that person has then continued contact with Jim, because if that's the case, then they'll kind of hold off on that, but if we need to get back in contact with them to bridge that gap.
Just to do a
It's
refresh.
easy.
Okay. Have you seen that? Like the BMX area?
I haven't.
It's over, it's on the east side of, WCP. And it's
Right across from the parking lot where the batting cages are, basically.
a little informal, but it's fun.
It's a cool dirt
There's
track,
a-
I mean, it's there, it's
Yeah.
just in the
It's like,
space
it's
that's
like down in the flood.
fairly
big.
unusable.
It's on the
than
other
that.
side of the sidewalk or the trail?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's on the
Side of
east
trail.
side.
Down in the flood.
There's like a little bridge that goes across.
So there's a
with tractor
ballpark,
tires.
there's
Okay.
a batting cages.
Mhm.
What else?
Is it in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, that we're gonna try to swing at this year, Just things
I
to
mean,
think about.
That would, that would fill my plate.
I mean,
think-
what can we,
The only other one that I think that we've had on the list for a long time is the lights at the basketball court at Viewpoint. That's been on our list for a long time.
Okay,
I don't know if that's
that'd be a CIP,
would it?
yeah.
And that's part of the pickleball and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
the other
something
reason
that
why
we
I bring it up.
Didn't discuss, are we gonna try to, do we wanna push through with that
The pickleball?
this year?
Yeah.
The multi-court, cause that's gonna take up a chunk of that.
That's
budget
on
if
my
we do.
list.
I think it's
I mean, that's,
important.
what I would like to see is either WCP making permanent nets on that one side. Instead of everybody having to bring their own net.
Okay.
So on the east side, I know you like to play tennis, but the cool people
Yeah.
like pickleball now.
Oh my
So-
God.
So we
I just turned
probably
50 like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like,
do
I'm like
permanent there.
part of the elderly now. So, yeah, pickleball. I think Wellington would be a great, or Viewpoint would be a great spot also for if you were to do permanent nets. I mean, I don't know how much basketball is being played outside anymore. But I know pickleball's exceptionally popular.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'll resurface of that and do some permanent nets there.
Yeah, I don't know if we would go permanent, cause that would be removing one avenue to replace it with another, and that's kind of against the vision of bringing as much in as we can with what we have.
Okay.
I think what we would maybe try to do, what maybe we could get an option for, is if we had a like a Joe box out there.
Yeah, and then do a lot.
And maybe we could even have permanent holes drilled with caps that you put over, and they'd actually have poles you put in, so they
Yeah.
would be more permanent. I mean,
Sure,
there's
sure.
other options than just placing
Yeah,
them up
that
there,
makes, that
right?
makes sense, yeah.
But as far as removing basketball for pickleball, I think the goal would be to add pickleball to basketball, and then we talked about also that multi-use, so we could use it as a sport
Yeah,
court, so we could
yeah.
do programming there for multiple
Sure.
different things.
So that makes sense. I mean, I think even if it was a box that had temporary nets in it, that had,
Yeah,
portable nets in it. I mean, I think that's fine. It's just,
Yeah.
when you go out, you're either going the day that people are playing, or you're going, you gotta buy your own net.
yep.
So, I mean, if we
That's-
could save some.
That's something we absolutely could do.
Yeah, we were talking,
Yeah.
cause that, we had the box over there and we were talking, I mean, I was in,
At WCP.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was in, Aurora, and they've actually got one where they just put out a box. And
Yeah.
I don't know if the parks crew comes and unlocks it every single day or what, but when we show up, there are no locks and there's 4 nets
okay,
just waiting for people to use.
Yeah.
And it seemed okay, like the nets weren't in the greatest of shape, which makes sense. You've got 500 different hands trying to put them together.
together and,
But I mean, if they get used 500 times and they cost us $45,
right,
that's what,
Yeah.
0.0004 cents per touch, so like that's insane.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah, that makes
insane
sense.
return.
Yeah, just
so, yeah. Being.
for easy
being,
rental, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see a money spreadsheet. Where we think we can, and we can kind of jig and jog it.
Yeah, well, if you guys give me,
Yeah.
if you
sure.
guys give me
Pickleball's
the
gonna be
options,
highest on the mark.
right,
We already know that,
that's
right?
where if you give me the options that you want.
Yeah.
I can either task someone or help me task
Mhm.
with finding out pricing, like,
Yeah.
maybe that's something that someone can take on too, like
Sure,
Aaron,
yeah.
if you and I wanna. You and Eric and I can work together
Yeah.
on just getting bids for different. Of these amenities that we don't have pricing for, like. Researching and finding the workout stations,
Mhm.
getting pricing for 2 or 3 different ones, then we can present that.
Sure.
Do we wanna move forward?
Yeah.
Same thing, I've got the original pricing from the guy for the multi-use court, so I'll just send it off to him. What's your update for this year's pricing? Send that back. That would be a base, with something that big, we're definitely gonna have to go out and get 3 bids for that one. But that would at least give us an idea, and then we can take that budget that we want to use and then see what we can get out of it.
That'd be cool.
So that's where the goal is. So same thing with the shade structure. We'll look into a couple of different options with that, probably our playground specialist, because we would want it to match what we already have at WCP,
Mhm.
and they still have, they have that in, so. And then what it would cost for potentially pouring a knockout for concrete, and then benches are fairly cheap, just.
I'll get the skate
pull
park
on them.
stuff put together.
Yeah,
What
if you wanna do
I think is
that,
with
that'd be great.
So do you wanna do the exercise thing? Is that? how-
I'll do the pickleball stuff and I'll do the court stuff.
I'll send out,
I mean, exercise stuff, I can,
let me just send out a list of the things that we talked about within the notes,
I
and
thought we
I'll
already had pickleball.
I'll attach. I have one estimate for
Oh,
that.
okay.
We'll definitely need to get multiple.
Oh, sure.
I hate to do it, I've gotta go.
That's okay.
Yeah. We got a couple kids at home that still need to be fed, so.
I don't even know.
What are you making for us? This table.
Great. Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Thanks, John.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Hey, John.
Yep.
We've got that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that portable screen too, and I feel like that keeps dropping off.
Yeah,
I was so excited about that.
let me put that
I
back
don't know
up
if
here.
that's, if everybody else was excited.
Oh,
so I
for the
was-
movies, the
Yeah.
movies in the
like
park,
Yeah.
movies
yes.
in the park,
So some of
yeah.
that has to do with just where our operational rollover goes.
Okay,
And I don't know if we'll be able to kind of recover the funding that was available at the end of last year
Mhm.
necessarily for that, but it's not something that I am opposed to taking back to Patty and Kelly because this group liked it.
Yeah.
The people that came into Bonanza liked it, and I think, I mean, as far as our community goes, it would, for me, it'd be huge.
it'd be so
I
fun.
love that.
Yeah, I'd be so fun. Okay.
So if we want to push that into that budget, I think that we possibly could do that.
Okay,
So, okay, so
cool.
from pickleball officer, Jesse, portable screen, okay, anything else? Those are
Could do a rec center.
fun options, okay?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, here we go.
Meeting adjourned at exactly 7:32. Turn the owl off.
It was on here, it was on the list, right? I mean.
It
I
is.
just-
it's-
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, I know. No, it's fantastic,
I think what we've talked about is really good. I
Okay.
think everything that we've talked about is attainable.
yeah,
And then getting some budget numbers will be great for the next meeting. If everybody's okay to move
Yep.
on to the next subject.
Yep.
Okay. The next one we did have on here was East Side Dog Park, so we've kind of covered
covered that, yeah.
where we're at, Arbor Day.
Arbor Day,
Right,
huh?
April?
Arbor Day's a day in April, and we'll
Yes.
do it the day after actual Arbor Day. I think it's the 27th
Okay,
of April, the I have to remember, either the 27th is Arbor Day on Friday, and we'll do our event on the 28th, or it's the 26th, and we'll do it on the 27th, whatever that Saturday is.
27th.
27th, Saturday, the 27th.
Okay,
Thoughts were to do it at Park Meadows this year. There are 4 trees around the playground there that need to be redone. Okay, 5.
What's that one?
Oh, yeah, the one off in the corner. Yep. So 5 trees around the area, 4 directly around the playground.
okay,
We're also talking about using, the new budget line, part of it, internally for, horticultural upgrades. We got approved, a new budget line this year for operating. So we're gonna do similar-ish to what we did outside of the municipal building with that grant last year, where we did the rehab for that. We're gonna do that, something similar, maybe not as grandiose because of the activity that goes on around the playground, but updating the beds around the park meadows because they just are not in good shape at all, and it detracts. So the goal is to bring in engineered wood fiber to get that up because it needs it. It's the next part to get that. To get concrete poured because there's no ADA access ports that go down into Park Meadows like there are at Centennial and at Viewpoint. And also to expand the concrete on the side where you walk into the park where the ADA porta potty is to give more space for the ADA porta potty, as well as when they service it, they drive on the turf and destroy it. So there's no reason just to have a strip and then move. For some reason, there's the bike rack that's out there is just in the turf. So original planning was probably great, but now that we have concrete that we have over on the side, we're gonna put that there. Next to the, not right next to it, but over by the ADA porta potty. So all of that we'll take care of internally, and then Arbor Day will hopefully be there so that the tree companies that are gonna donate the trees and the time for spading and stuff like that are gonna go over and do that. So we had a preliminary meeting and they said it would be a great site to do it. So I wanted to say that we met with them. They're all down to do that. It's a good site. So that's, huh?
New EWF too.
Yeah, new EWF, yeah.
so we have the tree companies, they're willing to donate.
So some of it, I mean, they're not
Some of
gonna do
it,
all
yeah.
of it, but they'll donate a couple trees. So Bartlett like they did last year.
Okay,
So I'm also gonna try to get, why can't I think of the name of them, to donate some of the plant material for the plantings. As well as maybe a tree, and then the other local companies. So there's 3 potential companies that will hopefully donate something on Arbor Day.
I think last year, didn't we do some little trees to give away to kids?
They're gonna bring trees again. Yep, they'll
We're
bring
doing
the,
that again,
they'll,
okay.
they'll bring the trees again.
Mine is live.
Is it?
I have a live.
This isn't a pot.
Yeah, both mine are alive.
Mine is not neglected.
Mine's done great.
He hasn't done anything.
It thrives off in the corner. I water it whenever I think about it randomly. Loves it.
But yes, they're gonna do everything that they did last year. They might even bring a little bit more material about the trees that we're putting in, which would be pretty cool. Ross will do his thing from the library over there with
Okay.
the planting of the wishes under the trees. We'll do probably a little more expanded park and play. We won't have a full park and play, but last year, because we did it at the football games, we weren't able to expand out into the field, but with Park Meadows there, we're gonna bring some stuff for the kids to do, and we'll do that. Hopefully we'll catch after sports games in the neighborhood over there, but
That's exciting. Hope it can be even bigger than last year. That's great.
so we'll
Okay,
try to get that promoted as soon as possible so that people get it on their map.
East Side Party.
East Side
without-
Party.
Without Willville, like usually.
yeah,
Outside of
that's great.
Willville,
Yeah.
like a East Side thing, that's so
Yep.
cool. Good.
Yep,
Mhm.
They're getting a lot of attention this year.
It's good. I need it.
push it over there. We wanna do a park and play at Winnick too this year. Well, we can talk about that as we move forward with those. So that's update on Arbor Day. Would love the support. Anybody that wants to be there, help out. As we get closer and we get the marketing stuff out, maybe some help, putting flyers out specifically on doors in that community to let them all know that we're going over there to do that.
Can we get that expanded concrete and move the bike rack and stuff before that, or?
That's the goal. If we can't do those two things specifically, we'll do it after, but I would love to get it all just in place before.
Okay.
I talked with Jim about it, and I might just swing for a contractor to do that because there is ADA money that the town has. And I've reached out to use Access for this specific project with that ADA funds. So if that's available, then we can just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Because it is for, especially the poured ins, that's
Yeah.
ADA access to the playground, so. And to that porta potty, which is gonna be ADA accessible.
Okay.
Yeah. Annual report, oh, sorry, this is your meeting.
Please, no, it's great. Let's get through it. Yeah.
Annual report, it was just asked of me to put this in here. We don't really have to go over too much. It's just, something that is great for you guys all to see what the town has gone through and accomplished over the last year. It's really cool if you want to take a look at what all the departments are doing, internally as far as moving forward with expanding our community and providing the service that we do. So take a look at it. It's also on the town website if you would like, but it's also in our packet. Any questions you can talk about?
I know tree mapping is on there. Are we gonna try to go for Tree City?
It will be a while till we could probably swing for a Tree City. But yes, I mean, if that's part of our Park and Rec master plan, of course. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, Arbor Day, I forgot to mention this too. Gladys reached out to me and said that her company wants to donate some trees.
No kidding.
And I didn't have the capacity because they need to have statistics, but now that we did our initial tree mapping and percentage or amount of trees versus percentage of open space, I can send that back to her, and her company might just want to donate trees to put
Cool.
in.
That's so
So,
cool.
because when she left, she was like, I still want to help. I was like, well, you're welcome to come and sit in anytime you can. So she's just like, it's been a while, but she's like, get back to me when you know how many trees you have. So now that I have it, hopefully she'll be able to, her company wants to throw some trees in. So
Okay. That's great.
Big shade tree over at WCP.
I can specifically tell you we need one of these, regardless of what percentages.
Nice.
I love it.
And we don't have to go too far into the calendar. Just please fill that out. I want to see you guys put stuff on the agenda. Give me things to work on for this meeting. Or put things on the agenda and say, hey, I want to work on this. I've got these plans, like, or I've talked to this person. Can we put it on the agenda? And I want to bring an agenda. I'd love you guys to bring some agenda items. or favor. Or just show my way and I'll put in.
Okay.
But I'll fill it out a little bit more. Cody's coming 2 weeks in a row. I didn't take that one on. But he's not. Just have to get him in here.
Cody's gonna be at the next one.
That was the goal.
Okay,
Yeah. And we can speak more to him just about the town plan and then getting the master plan.
okay,
Cause there'll be some heavy involvement, and we'll have some updates also as far as planning with what we learn next Monday from that, Safe Routes to Parks grant, kickoff call.
okay.
Well, it's not a kickoff, first full Arlington rollout. Cause at some point there will be coming out and doing a walkability thing. I believe that's what Lisa wants to do, so I would like to coordinate at least one person on this board to also be involved in the walk around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people already from the town in this, but anything you want me to add to those meetings, please give to me so that I can be the liaison across to Safe Routes.
Okay.
Do we want to go updates?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got.
Already talked a lot about, or not a lot, a little bit about the tree mapping and our asset planning. So we did the tree map, got everything dialed in as far as where our trees are. We might have to add a few to them. Then we're also working with the contractor to dial in the list of all of the amenities that we want to see with our asset management tracking and planning. So once that goes back out to him, he's gonna build the back end. And then I would love this group to learn and help Eric and I to start tracking some of our assets. Cause to have a company that we sat down with, like it's called Green City was one of them. Their whole asset management program is amazing and expansive. Not something that we're ready for yet, but just a portion of them coming out for 2 weeks to do the asset tracking is like 25 grand. So we're gonna do all that internally. But they're professionals and we're doing it on a very base level. So once we figure out how that happens, we would love to give you our new computers that we're getting. One, because we need new computers in our system, but also they're gonna be versatile to be able to take pictures, go online, add assets to GIS or ArcGIS tracking. So once we get through that, any amount of help we can have, because it's gonna, for our department to do it, it's gonna be a multi-year process. We just don't have the block of time to say 5 of us for 2 hours or for 2 straight weeks, then we can get it done. That's too many hundreds of man hours to just get it done. So it's gonna be in sections, whether we do it park at a time or whatever that is, but we can give access once we have this program to whomever, and we could say like, we're all gonna do a field trip and we'll use our capabilities, and you should be able to take your smartphone if you have access to the ArcGIS, and literally we'll just take a picture of the amenity, add it in, and then on the back end, we can add anything more that we want, like make, manufacture, when it was put in, all that will be accessible, but just capturing pictures and starting the process out in the field takes a lot of time. We contracted the trees out because they came in really low for how much that actual work was for them to do. And that was in the budget, so doing this is not in the budget, so team effort.
Sure. Yeah.
That's one update that we're working on that this group can absolutely help with in the future. Another park update, we're very close to getting able to put all the ADA porta potties in. We have one more fence to build over at Viewpoint, but the concrete was poured over there. It's just, we want to build the fence before we switch the porta potty out. But other than that, we'll just do a full sweep of all of the non-ADA accessible porta potties, and that project will be done. What else are we working on? Oh, we're doing just minor maintenance for parks. We're going through and painting all of the shelter structures so that they look good going into the year, as well as doing some updates inside the WCP bathrooms that need it, like new changing stations, putting up the partitions where they're kind of coming out of the wall, painting the entire thing to make sure it's ready, putting in soap dispensers that are tamper proof, because we never had them here, so.
This golf signs kind of had needed refresh. Did that get done?
No, that thing's bad. It does need done.
Okay.
Put that on my list. Thank you.
Was that peeling brown paint or whatever?
There's a nice whiteboard in my office that has like some large scale projects that really haven't changed much. One of them just says signs. And we need to there's a lot of signs. And I made a task in our Asana that says Eric and I just have to go out one day and just look at all the signs and just, because a lot of them missing 3 or 4 words here and it just doesn't look good, so.
Yeah, it just needs a little refresh.
Yes.
And then
updates.
what
Signs
about,
one way from the-
we had talked about doing
Uh,
some map.
Any update on that?
Yeah, so we're right now, Dominic is working on actually like an online version of that, basically. So like more of a interactive one, so actually with Google, you can just go in and like create your own map. And so he's like created a townwide one. He's like still creating it, so it's not like finalized or ready for eyes. I haven't had a chance to like peek over the whole thing yet. But he's also doing like each park separately too, for that as an option.
Okay,
And then this whole thing, we really, like, he can help with that, but we needed to wait until the new marketing communications person started, just because it is such a large undertaking and we don't have like the right product to build it. So you need an Adobe program, which recreation doesn't have. We only have 2 licenses for the town and none of them were issued like here. One's with the marketing person and one's with Caitlin, because she creates a lot of stuff. So we need that to like be able to make such a big poster. Otherwise, so yeah, we were waiting for them to start. They started Monday.
Yeah.
And I have a
Person
meeting with that
started.
person next week, so it's one of the things that we'll talk about rolling out.
But we've like got the list built and ideas for like how we want to do it. But yes,
we contracted this out.
Mhm.
It was affordable. It was easy. What I'm trying to talk about, guys, is a map that we can pass out to show the recreation that we have in the town. There's a lot of people that don't understand how many parks we have. They'll go, oh my gosh, I didn't know about Winning Park. I didn't know about this park or that park. So it'd be really handy to have something that we can pass out at the library, at maybe some of the businesses. When people go into municipal building, so this is something that we've been asking for a little bit.
And the designer who did it has mentioned that she's interested to continue on and she has everything that they previously was used for it. So,
Yeah, I don't think we have to reinvent the wheel.
so I don't know. I mean, it might be worth just pricing out to see how quickly, but I don't know, but she did reach out to me to ask if she could continue working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
So I guess
We'll
I'd
get
like to see
contact
some
info.
movement on it. I think we've talked about it for quite a while and I don't think the roadblocks are that big of roadblocks.
Okay.
It'd be cool to have something. And then we can show off all the cool stuff we got and the amenities. What else?
bubble soccer's back.
I still won't play
What?
it.
Registration opens tomorrow. We're gonna try and do it just like we did the, like, first time we did it with, the same day as the Easter egg hunt. So we'll do it like first games beforehand, take a break so everyone can go hunt for eggs with their kids and have fun and then come back and knock each other over again. So if you have anyone, A, that you want to knock over, or B, that you think would be interested in doing it, sign up. It's
Oh,
only, so cheap. It's $40 for the whole team, which is 5 people. So yeah, and it's so much fun, even for people watching. Like, it's just a stupid amount of laughing.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
Oh, how did
Yeah.
your indoor arrow?
We only had one person sign up.
No.
Yeah, so we canceled the program. but we had
Dodgeball.
dodgeball and that was awesome.
And that was a good.
Insane.
Yeah, people had. a ton of
Dodgeball
fun.
was crazy.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
Okay.
I'm too aggressive for bubble soccer, like I would,
No such
would get hurt,
no such
but
thing.
I'm happy to be aggressive at dodgeball. I just need a date I can.
Dog-
attend.
That's.
No,
Dodgeball
no
was
such thing as too aggressive in bubble
incredible.
soccer. The only rule we've now implemented after last time was you can't hit people from the back, because that's a little rough, but
Oh, okay.
side, front, it's all open.
And
Oh my
then
God.
we also, we haven't had the meeting since our event, the Boys and Girls Club, right?
Yeah.
So that was
We didn't have a
awesome.
February meeting?
It was, our meeting was before that. Yeah, it was,
It was February something. Oh, this is February. I
This
was
is-
thinking it was March already.
March,
Most.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
right?
No,
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 Oh, shit, I thought I missed the meeting.
I was like, you were at.
I thought I was at an extra meeting that didn't happen.
Volunteered for going to the event. Oh, the event was
Yeah,
awesome. We
that's
had like,
Yeah.
50 people
Mhm.
overall.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It
And
was great.
yeah, we opened the doors and everybody seemed to have an amazing time. It was a great setup.
Art was a huge hit.
Art
like
was a
art section.
huge
Yeah,
hit.
those shirts were awesome.
Yeah. We had the, lady who did our training for adaptive, recreation opportunities down at the city of Fort Collins. She came up and walked through it and she said it looked great. And then the mayor came over, Trustee Daly was there. Man, kids of all ages were in and out. The parents were having fun. It was really cool.
From like a volunteer perspective, how do you feel?
I had a blast.
Yeah.
I did. I mean,
We had a
I
lot of
went there with
balloons.
my kid, but he was wherever he was the whole time, so
Oh,
I
okay.
just hung out with everybody else,
Oh,
the
nice.
volunteers and played with some of the kids, and so, yeah, I mean, I had a great time.
Help pop and blow up a couple
I
balloons.
did that kind of stuff. You gotta
That
yeah,
was
the
amazing.
budget
It was
should
like a
not be
whole
spent on
arch.
balloons. If you want cheap balloons, definitely,
Oh,
Did you make the
No.
arch all by yourself?
no, I came in at the end. and I did like-
Balloon arches are just notorious for having 10 to 12% of the balloons pop, so
Yeah,
it's
that was
pretty
pretty
average.
brutal. That was definitely not easy.
It's
yeah.
pretty normal.
It was so awesome. It was so
Out in
much.
a tank, yeah, but it was great. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys did a really nice job. And the video game set up and I saw the family, where the one, kid was using the controller and stuff like that, which was amazing. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just the start,
we
so
were
we're
sick. We didn't make it.
Yeah.
Aw, I was bummed. Yeah.
And there was so much staff from the Boys and Girls Club and Parks and
Good.
Rec and the library. Like there was a lot of presence there. It was really cool to see and it was so much fun. There was way more people there than I expected. Like I thought there was a bunch of people in the gym. And then I was like, oh, there's 2 more even areas in the back. And then I went back there and hung out with some kids, did some crafts. I've been sporting my bag all around town for Ross's.
WPL bags, yeah.
You have to carry this everywhere you go. But
fun.
yeah, it was so
Great.
fun.
Aw, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay, nice.
It was good. I want to go to more. I mean, my kids probably do too.
We'll,
That's awesome.
we'll do more.
That's so cool.
That's great.
Okay, okay.
Other than that, youth registration closes tomorrow. Adult registration closes next week for spring sports. So if you haven't signed up yet,
Today,
do.
already did it.
Bill likes to wait till the last minute to sign.
To sign up.
He's part of the people who stress us out. Yeah, we get like the last 20 people sign up in the last 48 hours. It's great in every sport.
And you got all your coaches?
Close.
Yeah, it was a good swing today at getting.
Mhm. Yeah,
Coaches.
yeah, Emma's been crushing it, so.
Wow, okay,
Mhm.
cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's-
Just getting ready for the busy season.
We're in it.
It's a lot, you guys have a lot,
Event season.
yeah. How many park and plays are you doing this year?
5 if you count the 4th of July, right?
5.
Plus Arbor Day, plus
2-ish for the Boys and Girls Club.
plus, yeah, we're gonna do some summer ones for the Boys and Girls Club because. At the club, they have so many more options, but the younger kids over at Rice, they don't have a bus, so they can't really be doing as many field trips. So we've got 2 dates planned specifically just to go there and do it just for them, park and play.
Did we find out it'd be here instead?
Huh?
Didn't she say it'd be at Iceland instead?
Oh,
Maybe she was just talking.
no, it's
to me.
Rice.
I think she might have been talking to me. It's gonna be at Iceland instead.
That's where they're running the program?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Well, then we'll do it.
I forgot. She told us, it was just me. that morning before she left. She was like, bye, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. Then we do one for Ross for his summer reading kickoff program, the field day that they do here, so. All told, like 7, 8,
That's great.
9, maybe this year, maybe close to 10. And
Well-oiled
then,
machine at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
we didn't last year. We set up booths and small stuff at farmer's market. But if there's one in particular that Caitlin would like us to maybe put up a blow up or something like that, we might do like a mini one, sort of thing. So I don't know, all told, maybe 12 to 15 if you consider if we do another 1 or 2 next winter before the turn of the year in the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, and we're doing more and more partnerships with them too. Like one of them's gonna be the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Main Streets program as well. So like
Just add another one to the
a
list.
bunch of extra stuff there for it too.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Are you guys gonna do like a poster for all of them to kind of be like, this is what we're doing?
We do have the.
That's something else that Don's been working on.
The recreation
and
one.
finished.
We do have the recreation stuff where we'll let the other entities promote themselves. Like Ross does a good job promoting here. And then there's the town website too. Well, we have our stuff, yeah.
And then this just got completed, it is now up on the website as of yesterday. But this is our like recreation guide for 2024, basically. So we've got all of our Start Smart activities and just like basic information about them.
Oh my God.
All the like
Great.
youth sports. The youth diamond sports, because they need their own page. Adult sports. And then like all the extra activities we do, so art classes, yoga, tennis. Special events, so park and play, bubble soccer, archery attack. And then here's the list of like the specific town sponsored events. that we have on there.
That is cool.
You can't tell she's Sally, but that's her.
Yeah, so like this list here and
Yeah.
then just like the last page of contact us and also look, come to
Oh,
PROST.
That's
oh my
great.
God, this looks really nice. Who did that?
Beautiful.
Dom did this. Yeah,
Really nice.
Dom made that, yeah.
With help.
Yep.
Oh my
But
gosh,
he put it out there.
He put the brunt work in for it, so.
that looks great. Yeah, we need a
It's-
printout of the town events. We'll hang that up at the coffee shop.
It's our own mini, our version of like what Fort Collins does with the Recreator. It's not a book
Yeah.
like this big like the
Yeah.
Recreator is, but it's.
Ours is
something that's
58
not-
pages
Never
of
been there, so.
11 side.
This will
12
get people
or 10
excited.
size font.
This will get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
interest going. This is
So we would like
really
to-
nice.
In some form or another, I mean, we have the digital versions, obviously, we would like to print them and get them in places.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a, especially at Ridley's, I'm sick of looking at the football thing, it's like,
What?
we're done. Ridley's,
Yeah.
the football, it's like,
I mean,
we know,
Nah,
we know, I'm about, they could put more stuff than just
absolutely. they
5
could.
of the same football things in it.
Sure.
I'm still disgruntled, they didn't put up my banner or my poster, they refused to put it up for Stars and Scars, yeah.
Where?
At Ridley's, yeah, they wouldn't put it up.
Okay.
Don't want- It was kind of. So, oh, speaking of which, are we still, or did I daydream this about thinking about doing a PROST float in the 4th of July parade?
We,
Did we talk about that?
maybe not in a meeting, but we might have talked about it at the event,
Okay.
at the,
Oh, yeah.
Night Beyond Limits.
We'll put that, maybe, can we put that next week's agenda? Kind of.
You got it. One more agenda item, ready to roll.
Yeah.
Do we have a lot on there already?
No,
No.
it's like
It's just-
nothing on
We
there.
just
The
have.
Cody show.
Oh, is it Cody?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. We
that's
can,
good.
we can push it, but.
Well, as we get in, as we work on the monetary process for all that, I'll start adding that and voting on what we want to roll with.
It'll be fun.
That would be super
Well, we
fun.
got a truck
PROST float?
trailer and-
Oh, yeah. The ones with squirt guns are the best. I'm just gonna put that out there. As someone who has walked that
That's
parade
true.
many times.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The kids love.
Yeah.
Which you gotta throw the candy when they go for it.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yes.
Dodgeball
Oh my
still?
God.
Still in
Yes, I
dodgeball
did.
mindset?
Yeah, sorry. I swear, next time we have dodgeball, if you guys aren't there, It was,
Do not put
it
on a
was-
comedy night.
oh,
There,
we had 5 teams and we played for like 2.5 hours. It was insane.
Where did you do it at?
10 people at my comedy
I
table
still
that would have been there.
Okay.
So that's why.
Well, we'll
We need
just
another
find it
one.
differently. We tried to do it different night. That's the night we did
No.
at the school. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet
I
that
need.
there were
dodgeball
more
on my
laughs at dodgeball than at the comedy show. Just throwing that out there. I'm just saying.
night. Whoa,
That's funny.
okay.
Oh my god.
Laugh, I many laughable moments here, roped into
Do you
play.
have anything to talk about before we done?
I've got just something real quick.
Okay.
I've got an idea, like, I used to work for a company called Gus Macker Basketball. It's 3-on-3 basketball
Mhm.
tournament. They travel the country. Right now, I mean, they've been in, this is their 50th year in business. I'm gonna just show you a quick video, if that's okay. Is it okay?
Yeah,
So just kind of an introduction of Gus Macker.
you look at it.
Just so you guys can see it, and then these guys can see my screen, or, well, they can see my screen.
Okay, actually, right.
Oh, they can see your screen there. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just permanent pickup basketball game on our. Hi, Mrs. McNeil. She loves the garden. 13 years ago, Mrs. McNeil's son Scott created a monster. He got together with some of his buddies for a 3-on-3 basketball tournament at $1 a man, and it's really gotten out of hand now. Come with me.
Who has the speed when we try to body him up?
Come back to the Gus Macker in Buffalo. It's been a great time.
So they close off the street,
I'm in. She goes, I'm in.
and I mean, this is back when I worked for them, was all these tournaments here. We had 84 tournaments across the country.
Basketball taking place out here on this court, from the little kids all the way up to the senior division.
They provide the hoops. All we gotta do is close down the street. They provide the hoops, the tape, the well, we try to get volunteers, help tape courts. They've got what's called a Gus Buster on every court, which is a quasi referee. Just keeping things, above board with everybody. They do a top men's, top women's court, and they do sport court, so they bring in their own sport court. They bring in all the hoops on a semi. It's a fundraiser for us, is what it is. So there's a contracting price that, you know, I'll get more information on, but,
Help offset some of the costs for our youth sports program.
yes, so it's a fundraiser for usually a nonprofit or a city. They work with Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCA's, Young Life, they just whatever.
Yeah.
They'll come help recruit teams, so they'll go to Fort Collins and do. I was on the Macker Road Show, which I had to dress up as a basketball. I've always been a bigger dude, so it's not that scratch, but I put on the Macker costume, which that's the Macker, you can see on the backboard there. We talked about at the last meeting, having community events to bring people together
And tournaments for adults and youth.
tournaments
Yeah.
for adults and youth, and then it also being a fundraiser. I thought this would be a perfect thing.
And is there a cost to this
There,
coming? How does that go?
there is a break even point, and I'll get information on it. I'll get the
Maybe
information
the
of the
best
cost.
dunk I have ever seen, at least it was the most
It looks
fun.
fun.
If I told you that you bounced it off. the
So they
building,
do a slam dunk contest, and it would run Saturday and Sunday. So they'd move in on Friday evening, shut down the street, get all the courts taped. We'd be responsible for finding a hotel to donate some rooms. We'd be responsible for getting food trucks in here. You know, they do very well with their food trucks over the weekend. It's really, once people start doing it, like, there's tournaments that have been around for 40 years.
Mhm.
So the community just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. So, I mean, the biggest one is getting it set up, and I think, you know, a board like ours would be perfect for, you know, getting some volunteers and helping out on the weekend, and we're talking probably 2025 would be the earliest we could do it. But, I mean, this isn't something you throw together in
Yeah,
a couple weeks, but if we're interested in it, I can get more information. I'll get Gus to fly out here and talk to us. Gus is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it sounds really cool.
I wouldn't say no to an awesome ideas like this.
Okay.
And we just have to figure out the logistics, like you said.
Yeah,
but-
I'll pull more information in and then we can get, budgets of, all my information's old, like 1992. So, the break even was about 300 teams at the time. But we were also running tournaments of 2,000, 3,000 teams in Peoria, Illinois. Some of the bigger cities, we were getting a lot of teams. So it was like 300s on the small side. Now, 300 is probably a good sized tournament for them. So I don't know what they've done with their pricing model to make it make sense for smaller communities, but I think we could pull out of Fort Collins and,
Yeah.
it could be he preaches it as this is a community festival. It's not about basketball. It's around basketball, but it's a community event. And
And they
Whether-
market it, like they do the marketing?
they do a lot of it. Yes, it'll be us too.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would go.
yeah.
I sold a tournament in Memphis. We went in and I was once again the basketball. And then, we did, Taco Bell was a sponsor.
Yeah.
We set up a hoop in their driveway and did a free throw shooting contest. Just as people were coming in, inviting them to the tournament. I went to every little school there was and, they do a Macker Road show and try to drum up interest in teams.
That's so cool.
So, this would be a great setting too. Downtown and mountains and, it'd just be a gorgeous setting for this tournament.
I see. Once I get information, let's see.
Yeah.
Yes.
That looks like so much fun. I don't even play basketball, but I would definitely be there.
Yeah, I reached out to Gus last week. He's gonna get us the packet and, so I'll
amazing.
bring more information. in.
Cool,
So
Yeah,
cool.
Very cool.
great update.
I like it.
Where's the next nearest tournament? Here,
Alamogordo, New Mexico.
wherever the hell that is.
Not
About 3
close.
hours. Yeah, they've got like 5 tournaments in New Mexico. That's like Hobbs, New Mexico's been. Roswell, they've been tournaments forever, since the early 90s anyway. And then they're Michigan, Wisconsin. I just saw they weren't in Illinois anymore, which that's surprising to me.
Ooh, that was weird.
Yeah, no Indiana's, no,
Hmm.
I ran a tournament, I used
Playing
Kansas.
basketball there.
Yeah. So.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's had its growing, like as it got more popular, it got rough. The tournament got rough. And so they brought in more Gus Buster. It was a Gus Buster for every couple of courts. And it was call your own foul. So it got rough. And so now they started doing the Gus Busters calling fouls and watching out. But, bringing on the high school basketball team to
Yeah.
volunteer. There's just so many
And
opportunities to
play,
bring
yeah.
people together.
Mhm. That's so cool.
That's all I got.
Nice.
That's great.
That's it.
That's great. That's great.
That's
Who else?
I didn't bring my screen to display my presentation.
I don't know, I was surprised.
I know.
Expectation going forward.
Yeah.
Everybody steps.
Yeah.
Went ahead and purchased our outdoor screen so we can use that. The meetings. Hopefully we can expense that, right? Dude, that's awesome. Thank you. That is
very
really
cool.
cool.
That's cool.
I have a couple updates.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we to me?
Whoever,
okay?
yeah,
Okay.
I think we're just,
So have we, signs, is that new since last meeting? Did you guys already talk about all these park signs? Look amazing. I get so much feedback and everybody loves it. It's beautiful. It's so
Great.
like professional and like, you guys did such a great job. So thank you.
pretty cool.
That was a huge win for the entire, town. So thank you so much.
I'm
We're
hoping we
working on
can
that
get
to
some
help.
more, what's the word, more posts out there, more excitement about it.
Yes.
There's so many cool things that the town is doing and some of the nice stuff and the cool stuff doesn't always get pushed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so you know, the new marketing person is coming on
Yeah.
and,
Just-
or communications, I should say.
Yeah.
Looking at communication specialists.
And one of the real goals with bringing them in is to start telling the positive stories in
Story.
all of the departments. That was like a a foundation of why we're hiring this person, is
Yeah.
that
Storytelling.
this is gonna be
Mhm.
just like a different way of getting things out there.
Good.
Water Now Alliance, we won a grant in 2022 for communication, speaking of communications, a communications package. It talks about water efficiency and, you know, all the communication around that. But, you know, things that are gonna be highlighted are like, the projects that you guys have been doing for landscaping and all those kind of things, and anything relating to water relates to parks, relates to, there's gonna be a lot of attention associated with that and a lot of marketing. So I looked at the toolkit, it looks amazing. I'm sure there's gonna be lots and lots of things that are pulled from that and used in the near future, so you guys will see a ton of that. And that was a grant that we wanted to do that. So that was one. Did you talk about fetch parks?
We did talk about the dog park on the east side.
Okay, and then, it's been kind of a lot of attention on the NOCO humane contract that was tabled. Their working session is coming back onto the agenda as an action item. But something that came out of that was during the working session with NOCO humane, they shared some best practices from Berthoud. And what Berthoud has is they called fetch parks. So essentially, it's parks where you are permitted to have dogs off leash. This would be an ordinance change, for example, but this was like an example of something that they said. So if you have a dog that's actively playing fetch, that you're in that specific zone or area that's considered a fetch park. In Berthoud, like they wouldn't provide any tickets for dogs at large or anything like that, so long as that dog is like actively playing fetch. And if you see dogs that play fetch in parks, they're like on the ball. So they gave us that idea. And that is going to, just among that and the whole potential contract for NOCO humane has brought up a lot of concerns and questions about ordinances associated with pets.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those ordinances associated with pets have to do with parks. So that's why I want to bring it to your attention. There's going to be efforts to solicit feedback on ordinances associated with that. And most of them will have to do with parks. So I just want you to have a heads up when that comes up. You know, maybe they will ask for recommendations, or if you want to be involved in those conversations, please do it. You guys are the experts on parks and represent that. So that may come to you soon. And that was all the items I think I had. Anybody have any questions for me or things that I need to take to the board specifically? That we need to push bubble soccer?
No, the board needs to play.
Yeah.
That seems like a great,
That would- yeah.
I mean, I really, that might be a thing that would help a lot, actually,
Board team, I mean, yeah,
Oh,
for the archery.
yeah,
We should demonstrate the archery with the board.
yes. A live board meeting in the archery attack.
We should just have them underneath the dais and then come out and start shooting.
What with the parks master plan, is that something that we need to keep pushing into the trustees, or is that something we're able to accomplish outside of that?
What year is it on right?
Well, it's not, it's in the strategic plan, but
Yeah, it's budgeted for.
next year it will be budgeted for. So pushing that,
I-
getting the background information requested,
Yeah.
requested for budgeting.
I would say any item that is planned has to be, and that's a priority for you, needs to be pushed every year because the budget is approved every year. So those can, even though it may be on a strategic plan, you know, it's not for sure until it's budgeted, and budgets
Mhm.
happen every year. So if I were making a recommendation and you guys have big priorities that you are relating to the Board of Trustees, and they involve large budget items, you guys need to be focusing on those frequently. If that's on your wish list, that's a top priority.
Top priority is our particular master plan,
Mhm.
and we've made it a priority like the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes,
And so how do we make sure that this is gonna happen?
I mean, I would continue with your quarterly updates or however frequent that you do that, and just make sure you're reminding of priorities that are coming from PROST. Recognizing your, you know, your wins and everything that you are contributing, the interactions with community that you're having, the volunteering you're doing. I mean, you just need to make sure that they realize that you guys are engaged and you care and you know, and you're representing the community, and that's the purpose of the advisory board. Just have presence, remind them of what you're doing and why. And maybe remind them of commitments they've made or plans they've made, and that you're holding them to it and holding them accountable. That would be my recommendation. So the more attention to it, the better, I think.
They're doing a great job of like trying to stay on top of it. This
Absolutely.
is what's gonna happen, but
Yeah,
we really wanna see this happen this next year.
yep, and they
Seems like
can
it's
push
holding
it.
Everything up.
What's that?
This is holding
It's holding everything up.
Everything up, yeah, and
It's
maybe,
just-
maybe that would be the theme, or, you know, it's all about storytelling. So maybe if you guys are doing your next presentation, maybe that's the story you tell, just that. Of, we have a lot of work to do and we can't do it until this is done. You prioritize, we need to make sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah, so, yeah, we really are working within our restraints of what
Yeah,
we can without
okay,
going beyond to something that would get changed by a master plan or would.
absolutely.
So,
And that's, yeah, I mean, you can't do anything strategically until you have a plan. So that's what's holding it up. The other opportunity you have, and this is gonna be really, really important, so it's not just you, it's everyone you know, any business, anything. There, and the reason why is there's gonna be a new board in April, right? So you need to be able to contribute to what their plan is gonna be for the next strategic plan. The strategic plan we're talking about, where parks was a priority, expires in 2024. Your plan isn't budgeted until 2025. So there's a concern here, right? So if you want to make sure that that's still considered, still prioritized, you need to contribute to the engagement activities associated with the next strategic plan. And there's a town hall scheduled to do that. So there's an event here where the sole purpose is community, come tell me what we should be doing. So that's a great day to show up. And, I mean, you can push it through PROST, you can push it by having everybody you know who cares about this thing come to that event and voice their concerns, and not just about that, about everything and anything associated with the town. So that's the strategic plan town hall that's gonna be on March 19th. Here, instead of a trustee meeting, we're having that instead. And there'll be staff here, all kinds of people here who can facilitate those conversations. I don't know exactly what the activity will look like as of yet, but we always do a good job to make sure we solicit feedback in a good way. But that is a required date to make sure either you or representation for what you're doing are here. And again, that's for every topic, not just parks, not just rec. That's like, if you have any other passions or concerns or questions, or if anybody you know does, they need to come and show up that day. I mean, we've done community surveys, we have all that stuff too. But when someone speaks at you and someone shows up, I mean, it's louder, right? So I would recommend doing that. Cool. Yeah, and then the whatever the new board will be doing, they will have actual sessions in which they utilize the data that was collected at that event to then draft a new strategic plan for the next 2 years. So that's why it worries me if it's on strategic plan, if it's not funded in a year beyond the strategic plan, that always scares me, so we need to make sure they understand potentially that it was a strategic item that wasn't completed, right? So it doesn't mean that it's not needed anymore, that means that it needs to be considered. Yeah, that's my recommendation. You gotta be loud. There's a lot of loud voices right now, so.
Has it been budgeted?
Oh my
Like
gosh.
what the cost is gonna be for strategic?
For
For the
Park and Rec
Alzheimer's?
master plan?
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
master.
No, that's what really we need to find is associated costs.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lump sum associated with the CIP project, but it's
Yeah.
not like it's a exact value associated with the RFP or anything.
Okay.
That's not happened, nothing like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
That's what
So, I mean, is that a question that we're gonna get from, back from the trustees of what's it gonna cost?
I guarantee you, everything's always about cost and
So-
questions.
How can we get a number with it next year?
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking to the local directors that have gone through it the last few years.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
great.
gonna recover information from who
Okay.
they've used and the processes that they've gone through to
Yeah.
actually push it through.
Yeah. And it's not even just about doing a master plan, you know, whenever you hire a firm to do these kind of things, you need to make sure that that firm matches the values of what you're trying to accomplish. So, there's just so much planning in advance of actually seeking a firm to do the master plan. And my concern is if that's a strategic item and it's budgeted on a certain year, like those things have to happen in advance and they have to have board support to pursue it. So just push it, push it, push it. If this is your priority, you gotta push it.
That's the process.
Mhm. And I will also mention that it's important to the board.
We've
this
gotten a lot of
advisory.
pushback over the years, like, oh, we'll wait till the town master plan is done, wait till this is done or that is done, but
Yeah.
really, like, we're at the point where we can't do some of these bigger projects until we have this complete. We need it.
That makes complete sense to me, so I agree. Yeah. And it's the time to do it, to be honest, so I think, yeah, it's time, so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's on the strategic plan, so I can say that the current board completely backs the idea to do a parks master plan. They put it on their strategic plan. So I can speak on the behalf of the board to say that was a priority, is a priority, but that priority expires this year.
That's what I didn't understand, was that we're gonna, okay.
Yeah, so that's why we gotta push it for a strategic plan for the next board.
Okay.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it on the wall somewhere? Strategic plan?
This is right.
Yeah, it's usually all over the place. It's around here somewhere.
What else? Anybody else have anything?
Keep passing bedtime.
I know.
That'll be my message back to the board. That'll be the main one. But if you guys have anything else you need me to relay, I'm happy to do it.
That'd be huge.
Really, that's the main one, right? Like just supporting
The-
you and getting.
Yeah, I think
this master
the other
plan.
things we can fairly take care of in here, right? That's what we're trying to do, but that's the message. We can't really move forward with any sort of a vision for the future without a master plan.
Yeah, the downtown design process is about to kick off too. The RFP process has been kicked off. You know, the big grants that are for Main Street. When there's an opportunity for engagement there, I know I've heard it before, but it relates to trails and, you know, different modal options for how you get across the major highway in town. So when those opportunities arise too, I'll make sure I let you know, because there will be many, many engagement opportunities throughout that process for design to make sure that's accommodating to things that you guys would be highlighting. So I'll make sure you're aware of any opportunities for that too.
Great.
That's all I can think of right now.
I think we're ready to adjourn. Okay, thank you.
Before.
So wait.